If we can't, we can't.
No.
But I guess just in case we can't, let's do 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the Idiot's Guide to Horror.
Counteracting the toxic culture surrounding horror fandom and breaking down your favorite horror movies. With you as always, your host, Kara Beth Popovich.
And Christopher Claire Haberman.
So, do you want to do it?
We're just turn off the lights, grab your brandy, severe depression, and books on the occult. Let's get ready to dissect
The Nighthouse, directed by David Bruckner in 2021. So we've been talking about this movie a lot since we watched it some time ago.
in 2021.
In 2021, yes, a few short months ago. Did we watch it in 2021? I feel like it was not that long ago.
I bought it as soon as it came out. As soon as it was released for digital download, I purchased it on Apple TV.
Okay.
Not sponsored by Apple TV.
Yeah, don't go to Apple TV because of us, because they haven't offered us money.
No, but I do use their services because Amazon has the right to remove your purchases.
Yes.
And maybe Apple does too. I don't know. I've never actually looked. I should be taking effing notes. God damn it.
So you can watch this right now on HBO Max if you have HBO Max. It's also available to rent behind the paywall on the usual suspects: Apple TV, YouTube, Amazon. You can rent it there. This one is it's Jump Scare City.
Yeah, but more than that.
It is more than that.
It is jump scares, which I don't care for normally.
Mm-hmm.
It is, however, forever haunting. Like, after I watched it the first time, I was too afraid to go to my bed, too afraid to change the clothes out of the laundry.
There's some parts that do kind of stick with you visually. I was really impressed with it until it goes somewhere else, which we will get to.
But you got a good 90 minutes of decent movie.
Yeah, for now, first of all, I swear this movie came out, during the pandemic.
It was pushed back. If you go to our movie facts,
Mm-hmm.
it premiered at 2020 Sundance.
Mm.
But it could not be released until 9 months, a year and a half, 18 months later.
So now we don't have to do that fact. Now we've got 2.
Damn it!
And we'll just pretend you didn't hear that, and we'll just tell you again.
Yeah.
So this came out, I remember on the podcast asking you if you wanted to go see it.
Did we?
And we did not go see it. And then...
Oh, I know what you can use for your fucking non-horror. Nicolas Cage movies.
Totally can. Oh my god, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we've...
Hey, Stacey, edit that part out.
Stacey.
Our new intern, Stacey.
Our new intern, Stacey.
She's right there.
Yes, mm-hmm. Yeah, we are big deal now. Do you want to do the back of the box description?
All right.
Okay.
Close your eyes. Picture it. It's 2020. You're in a pandemic. You love to boat. Okay? You go row your boat, Dawson's Creek style.
Yes.
Over to the local Blockbuster. And you're like, I want something that's going to fuck me up for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy says, well, have you heard this movie? It's 90 minutes. It's still a good movie. And you're like, but it's 2 hours long. And you're like, don't worry about that.
90 minutes of solid good movie, but it's 2 hours long.
It's an out. There was... I took a... Shut up, Chris. Stacey, edit that part out. Okay. So you pick up the box. The cover's cool. You flip it over. And it says, reeling from the unexpected death of her husband, Beth, Rebecca Hall, is left alone in a lakeside home built for her. She tries as best as she can to keep together, but then dreams come. Disturbing visions of a presence in the house call to her, beckoning with a ghostly allure. But the harsh light of day washes away any proof of a haunting. Against the advice of her friends, I'm just really the one friend, if you think about it.
Yeah.
She begins digging into his belongings, yearning for answers.
So, spoiler warning, we're going to talk about this movie in depth up to and including the ending. So if you haven't seen this movie, please pause this episode and watch it, because I'm going to try to be constructive when we start talking about the ending, but we'll see.
This is the exact moment I gave up.
1:31:00 with 16 minutes and 27 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you can just stop. I'm kidding. No, please watch the ending, because otherwise the rambling that we're going to do is going to make no sense. Since this is a newer movie, There isn't a lot of lore behind it, so there isn't that many movie facts. So for the first one, when Beth flips through photos on Owen's phone, Owen is her husband's name. Beth is the main character. Owen is the husband. One of the first photos shown is of two men laughing. The photo is of the film's screenwriters Luke Piotrowski and Ben Collins, who met in high school in Georgia and began writing together in college.
Why do I care about this?
I don't know.
This is one of the 3 movie facts available on the internet.
They inserted themselves in the movie. That's a Quentin Tarantino-esque thing to do.
Mm-hmm. They didn't have speaking parts.
They did not.
Quentin Tarantino would have a speaking part.
He would have a speaking part, yeah. Do you want to...
Hey, did you know? Were you awares?
No.
This film premiered at the 2020 Sundance Film Festival.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I wish I was. It was withheld from release until a year and a half later due to COVID-19.
Son of a bitch.
Guys, did you have any idea?
No. Who told you?
Oh, we got a case of the giddies.
We do have a case of the giddies. We haven't done this for a couple of weeks, and we're not live, so it's just us just feeding off of each other's energy.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way it used to be. The way that God intended it.
Maybe I'll cancel our $30 a month StreamYard.
Maybe. Might be a good idea. So... I can't believe that I have to pronounce this again. Okay. Well, this is going to be a Gagonia-a-do situation.
Oh, God. Put it at the end of every episode from now on.
A Cairdroia is a Welsh turf maze, which makes sense now that you know that I was trying to pronounce it. It's Welsh. It's a Welsh turf maze, usually in the sevenfold Cretan labyrinth. Cretan?
I don't know.
Cretan labyrinth design? Fuck. They were created by shepherds on hilltops and were apparently the setting for ritual dances, the nature of which has been lost. So that's kind of crazy, and I want to learn more about it.
Yeah, but it's lost.
Says somebody on IMDb.
Good point.
Yeah.
We were just on the Wikipedia page for it, weren't we?
Yeah, and I clicked out of it because I didn't know that we were going to go... It's lost!
It's lost.
It's lost forever. Join us next week when we just talk about Cairdroias.
Good point. Let's do that next week.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Please forgive my notes. If you want to read off of them, I have 100 pages.
That's fine. I'm down for that.
And they don't make sense.
Without further ado...
Gagonia-a-do.
We are going to talk about the Nighthouse.
Oh, God. Aren't we?
So one last spoiler warning before we dive in, because we're gonna. Just try to keep up, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do your best.
Alright. Oh my God, these guys are making Hellraiser.
Oh my
The writers
God.
of this movie are making Hellraiser.
They're gonna ruin the ending.
I'm scared. Okay, it can't be. Never mind.
This time Frank's gonna live. Hey, spoiler alert for Hellraiser.
So, at the beginning of this movie, we have Beth, who is Rebecca Hall, the incredible, the underrated...
We can spoil something else, too.
What?
The first line in this movie passes the Bechdel test.
That's true.
And the last line. But nothing else.
Yeah, that's right. Nothing else. Everything else is about the man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, this passes the Bechdel test. We spoiled everything.
We can go home.
Yeah.
We're done.
Turn it off. We're done. Stacey, cut the live feed.
We have an assistant. Her name is Stacey. She goes to another school in Canada.
You haven't met her yet. She can't come over. She's busy.
She's busy. She has things to do. She's working tonight in Mexico. So anyway.
Do you have my blue light glasses?
I do like them. Wow. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, there's this movie. It's called Nighthouse. And at the beginning of this movie, there's a lot of sad shit that lets us know that Beth recently lost her husband.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how yet. We just know that she recently lost her husband.
Oh my God. How fucking amazing is Rebecca?
So fucking good. Rebecca Hall is underrated.
Why are we not putting her in more movies?
She should be in everything. She should be in everything. We should make t-shirts, Team Rebecca Hall.
Like, the way she did grief in this movie, the fake laughter, like, the way she was trying to make her friends think she was kidding.
Yeah.
I was like, I buy it. I buy the whole thing.
Right.
God.
Right. I know. It's been a while. We're, like, so ahead of ourselves.
It's been a while.
Can I just say, before I came here, I have to tell a quick story. Before I came here, we're already doing a tangent.
Oh, a tangent?
Before I came here, I was, like, sitting in my living room, like, packing up my laptop, and one of my neighbors started to play With Arms Wide Open by Creed,
God.
and was, like, really, like, singing a lot, like, singing
Do
along.
they know how much I love Creed?
No. Do you?
I love, what's that Creed song I like, guys?
I don't know how to react to this right now.
I spelled Creed with...
What?
I spelled Creed with 2 D's.
Please enjoy the clicky of Chris's.
Oh, My Sacrifice and One Last Breath.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know those songs when it... Okay, guys. Hey. Guys. If you don't know me, you don't know that I live right behind a bar.
You do live right behind a bar.
And every Friday, Saturday night, they're out there playing the same 2 Creed songs on repeat over and over again.
Is it those 2 Creed songs?
Yeah, My Sacrifice and One Last Breath. And I'm in my living room, like, singing along with them.
I didn't know this about you.
And then I'm like, can I call the police on a bar for being too loud?
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that.
Do you think we have police here?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, I don't think that there any that matter. No. Anyway.
My sacrifice.
Well, anyway, so Beth is, she's going through it. She watches her wedding video, so, then in the middle of the night, somebody knocks on the door.
Oh, I got chills already. I really
wow,
do.
Wow, you do have insane goosebumps.
This movie scares the fuck out of me. I can't explain it in words.
It like jumps in with the scares pretty quick too, because like this is like pretty atmospheric.
It's
and
so haunting.
Yeah, this is what this means.
I don't know. It's just like it's more than jump scares, and I really like this movie could have been it.
It could have been.
It could have been it.
It could have been it. I know.
It had you had everything going. We were all rooting for you.
It had the makings of like the next Hereditary.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
it threw the ball on the ground.
I was about to say it like spit on the ball and threw it away. Anyway, well, when somebody knocks on the door, there's nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
And
then the bad CGI. I don't need it.
I don't need it either, but like there's like a ghost there.
It works for me though.
There's a ghost. She goes to close the door and we see the ghost. She doesn't see the ghost.
There's a lot of this movie does silhouettes in a way you've never seen them before.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So the next day she decides to go to work.
I wouldn't.
I know. Mm-hmm. She goes to work. It's been like one week
since you looked at me. My first concert was a Bare Naked Lady Jessica Simpson concert, so
that's
don't fuck with me.
That's a weird double bill. How does that happen? Man, the 90s, the early 2000s.
I think O-Town was there too.
What a fucking time.
And it's called Bar Naked Ladies.
Bar Naked Ladies. Anyway, she goes to work. She's a teacher of middle school children.
She's late for work.
She is late for work.
And before she leaves, she makes coffee in a French press. Do you think of anything more time consuming?
No. Does she not have a Mr. Coffee? That gets the job done while you're doing it.
You can do your hair, you can do your makeup, you could slap a bag on her out the door.
Yeah.
But like she's French pressing her coffee, and then she gets out to her car, and she hears this like.
Yeah.
We're doing Foley work here now on Idiot's Guide to Horror.
Do you know what that is?
And if for some reason, you idiot, you couldn't tell what that was, it was a sound of the dock gate banging off of the other wood.
And then wet feet slapping up the... What else does that sound like, listeners?
Oh,
Don't worry about it.
Just wet feet, you pervert.
Don't worry about it. This is a PG podcast.
Wow, I said fuck so many times for a PG.
You can say fuck as many times as you want in a PG movie, right?
I think you only get one.
You don't get any in a PG movie. Not a one.
That's how often do I watch a movie that I know the rating of?
You get one in a PG-13 movie, and it has to be in a non-sexual context. Those are the rules.
How do can I make a bleep sound? Because how many times can I say the C word in a PG-13 movie?
None. None. You cannot say that word at all in a PG-13 movie. Anyway, god damn it, she made the French press. She heard the wet footsteps, and then she hears a gunshot, and then she just leaves. So she shows up to the school, and she falls asleep at her desk, and then a Karen comes in.
Oh god, yeah.
To speak with her.
Is Hunter's mom?
Yes, Hunter's mom.
Hi, I'm Hunter's mom.
He got a C in speech. He didn't do his last presentation. Anyway, we're getting too detailed. She just,
She wants not a C.
Yeah, the student's mother is trying to negotiate with Beth for a better grade for the kid.
But Rebecca Hall was out the day that she was supposed to be there for a personal matter, and then this woman whose name I can't say in a PG-13 movie... Get it? Because it's the C word?
Because it's the see you next Tuesday word.
Says, well, we all have personal matters, but we get on with them.
And she says, my personal matter is that my husband shot himself in the head last week. And she goes, oh my god, I'm so sorry. She's
like, so Hunter gets a B.
Yeah.
Do you want to go for an A? She's like, no, B is fine. She comes home, she asks Mel, our friendly neighbor. Mel, the friendly neighbor.
The great neighbor. What a neighbor.
I don't know how great he was.
Well, I mean, yeah, he did some we'll get to that.
He's a pretty good neighbor, though. Like, all things considered. He's
a pretty good neighbor, but there's some shit.
Well, yeah. Aren't we all? Like, don't we all have the same shit?
Right.
He says he didn't shoot anything this morning. He didn't hear a gunshot, blah, 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 blah. So, Beth goes back to watching pictures.
She was watching talkies of her husband building the house. And right before the train started traveling towards the screen.
God, yeah. Terrifying that must be. She finds a book with some weird diagrams on them. I would pronounce the word again, but I refuse to. Because it's...
The Kerdroya.
Yeah.
You didn't pronounce it. You did. I did it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Ha! And there's, like, notes written in the margins of this book saying, trick it, don't listen to it. And then she finds a schematic for the house she lives in, and then a reverse house.
Yeah. So it's like the same thing, just opposite.
Like a mirror. This movie's House of Leaves is fuck. I'm so scared.
You are so scared right now. Look at you. Chris has goosebumpies.
It's reminding me of House of Leaves.
It is a little House of Leaves-y.
Oh.
So she goes to sleep. And then in the middle of the night, she wakes up as there's a radio
song
playing her wedding song,
which is a really bad wedding song.
Yeah, it is. It's weird one. And then her cell phone goes off, and she gets a text message.
Oh, you're gonna give me chills again.
She gets a text message from Owen saying like, "Don't be afraid, like come downstairs." And then the music turns off, and she's like, she calls the number that Owen texted her from. And it's a distorted voice that's just kind of like whispering her name. And it tells her to look out the window.
Oh, God.
And Owen is standing on top of the lake.
Naked.
Yeah, he is naked, but you don't see anything.
I'm there screaming, turn around.
She wakes up on the floor.
This time in the bathroom. She checks her phone, and she left that phone plugged in all night.
I know, and we'll get to that when we do the letterbox.
Spoiling everything. But she checks her phone. There are no text messages to or from Owen last night. So she goes to the car where she keeps her memorabilia from her husband. You know, the gun, the phone, the laptop. And he has no text from her either. So it was probably just a dream. But then she starts, snooping around in his phone. She's looking at pictures. She finds a picture of herself she doesn't quite recognize. So she goes to Claire, who looks so familiar, by the way, that I cannot place it.
I'm not sure who it is. I will look it up. But
so familiar.
She's in Barry. That's right. That's how I know her. She's in Barry.
Was she in Iron Man 3? No, that was Rebecca Hall. So while you're looking that up,
go ahead. The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
Analyst number 1 in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, maybe not.
No, there's.
Well, she's been on film, screen, and stage.
Yes.
What's the difference between a movie and a TV show? Like, why is it differentiated?
Well, it's a filmography and then TV series. So you could do like one episode of a TV series and then we'll get into that later. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
Join us next time.
The Nighthouse.
The Nighthouse. So she's going through, she finds a picture of herself she doesn't recognize. She goes to ask Claire about it. Claire says it's just a picture of her. And if it's not her, it looks exactly like you. And Beth's like, I don't own this top. Huh?
Yeah.
Got ya.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never owned a top like this. Yeah. And then...
Nice top, huh? I don't own one like it.
And then Claire's response is like, maybe you should socialize, which is no.
No, so they go out for drinks.
Yeah.
Oh, God. This scene
is a masterpiece of, like, awkward social anxiety.
Yeah.
I will say
that.
I
have secondhand cringe for everybody.
Yeah, because they start asking questions, and when the one girl's like, did he leave a note? She just pulls it out and slaps it down on the table, and it's like got blood on it and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
cause they're all like, she's all, do you believe in ghosts? And they're all like, no. And Claire's like, I do. Claire's a good friend.
Claire's a good friend. Yeah, Claire doesn't believe in ghosts. She just doesn't want her to go down with the.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Hey, do you believe in ghosts? I have a Ouija board in the other room.
I would like to think that I believe in ghosts sometimes. When I don't want to believe in ghosts because I would like to sleep at night, then I don't. Mm-hmm. But for funsies, yeah.
I don't know.
For shits and giggles.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel, but I have a Ouija board, so let's.
I don't want to fuck with that.
Let's bring him in.
No. Stacey? Stacey?
Damn it. Good. She's really earning that pay. So, blah, 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 believe in ghosts. She has weird dreams. Beth thinks that, she said Owen was not depressed, that she thinks she gave it to him. So this is when the rude friend asks if she has a note, and she's like, bitch, it's right here in my purse, you want to see it? So she pulls it out, and she reads it. And this note gives me chills every single time, and it will not leave my brain, like the poem from Possum. Like the poem from Possum. The note says, is short, simple, and sweet. Like, I might, if I ever need a suicide note, I'm going to use this one.
Please don't need it.
Well, I'm just going to start writing these out for everybody.
Just in case. Jesus fucking Christ, read this.
It says, you were right. There is nothing. Nothing is after you. You're safe now. So,
Beth at the social gathering says that she didn't know what it meant. But then when she goes home and it's just her and Claire, she admits that she died for 4 minutes after a car accident and saw nothing when she died.
Mm-hmm.
And she has always felt like there is nothing after
Owen
her.
was the opposite.
Yeah, Owen was...
He believed in something.
Yeah. So...
Oh, God, this part jump scared the fuck out of me.
This is a crazy jump scare.
So Beth falls asleep while Claire's brushing her hair like a good friend, and she wakes up to loud noises throughout the house. Owen demon screaming. Maybe the music was playing again? I don't remember.
I think it is, yeah.
Everything stops, and then Owen keeps saying, the door. The door. So Beth goes outside and sees herself.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of like clones of Beth running
and screaming and jumping off a cliff.
Yeah. And then like she hears something like saying the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees like a house off in the distance on the top of the cliff.
Like a night house.
It might be a night house, which is the title of the film.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that was premiered at Sundance in 2020?
What?
And then had to be postponed for like 18 months due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
I'm gonna throw up.
I know.
I'm losing my shit right now. This is crazy.
Did you know this was premiered in the 2020 Cannes?
This is unhinged. We're really giggling. I'm
Toronto?
sorry.
Film Festival? I forget. Sundance.
Sundance.
Stacey, stricken the record.
Stacey?
Stacey, your mom's got it going on.
She wakes up in the boat, doesn't she? Wake up in the boat?
She wakes up in the boat because an invisible person knocks her out.
Right. And then she sees herself
in her house, but she's at the Nighthouse now.
She's in the reverse house, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She sees herself, a bunch of herselves in the house. Owen's fighting with one of them. And then she goes inside. Oh, fuck, this part got me. She opens the door to the Nighthouse, and she sees herself sleeping on the couch. And then we cut back, like, immediately. It's like, not even a cut. It's just the scene transitions into it is now her sleeping on the couch. The door is open, and she's back in the real world. So what the fuck was that? I can't change the laundry now. It's gonna be stuck down there all night.
Anyway, she wakes up the next day. It's real life. She's in her real house. She's not in the reverse house. And, I don't know.
She goes through Owen's laptop. There's a weird folder of pictures for like
of just like women on women on women, and they all look like her, but they're not her. None of them are her. They're just all women that look a lot like her.
She goes for a walk. She runs into Mel. Remember Mel, the nice neighbor?
Yes.
He says, "Hey, girl, bitch, you don't look good. You better go home. You shouldn't be wandering around here. Do you have any friends? Do you have a friend? Are you friendless?
Yeah, do you want to come have lunch with me?"
Yeah.
And she's like, lunch sounds good, but I gotta go find this house first. She's like, "Have you seen a house?" And he's like, "I don't know anything about a house." But he admits that he saw Owen, like, walking around in the woods with another woman one night.
But Mel, nope. She leaves Mel and she finds a house in the woods. It is...
Well, sorry. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I took live notes.
Yeah, I did not.
I
know. I fell asleep.
No, it's okay. Maybe you're in the Nighthouse now.
I am.
Alright. So she tells Mel she's looking for a house, and he says, "Bitch, you're not well. You better come have a sandwich." So she just walks away and says, "Maybe later." But she finds a house in the woods, and she just goes inside. It's not a finished house. It is a mirrored replica of the house she lives in structurally.
But it's like pre-flipping.
Right.
In an HGTV show.
And I am the third property brother. If you go to my Facebook, it's what it says.
Yes, you are the third property brother. Anyway.
She finds a voodoo doll.
She does find a voodoo doll that's, like, positioned in a really weird way.
Yeah, if you go to our Instagram, it was the teaser photo for this week's movie, which probably came out 3 weeks ago, but by now at this point.
Right. So she also hears, like, some noises while she's there. And then she goes to Mel's house to take him up on that sandwich, and that's when she asks him about the voodoo doll. And, so he used to see Owen wandering around in the woods in the middle of the night and asked Mel not to tell Beth. And he also he saw Owen with a woman one time, and Owen told him that he had urges that he was trying to, like, take care of. And he didn't want to tell Beth because he didn't want to hurt her.
I'm just saying, for all those of you at home, correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct you if you're wrong.
But a good friend would tell anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if it's going to upset somebody, if their partner's dogging on them, say some shit.
Yeah.
Tell on that bitch. Anyway,
she goes home, she starts digging through Owen's thing. She finds a book on the Cadroia, and there's notes all over the margin. She flips the pages, there's a picture of the voodoo doll. She brought the real one back home. And then she starts looking at other books, and they're all stamped with a bookstore named Melodies and Books and Melodies. Do bookstores do that?
Stamp their books? No.
Because, like, I have a shit ton of books in this filing cabinet behind me.
I've never had a bookstore. Like, I've had
not
library
one of them says Barnes
books,
& Noble.
Yeah, that stamp their books, but, like, never, like, a bookstore. But she goes, Well, the books say Books and Melodies. She doesn't go there yet.
But she will.
There's another
soon.
silhouette scare.
Yeah. Then she drives to New York. And does she live in? Yeah, she lives in New York anyway.
Yeah, it's like an upstate New York situation.
She's like in the Poconos.
And she drives to Books and Melodies, and then she goes and she confronts the woman.
Because there's a woman from the picture, guys.
Yeah, it's the woman from the first picture. And she's like, "What was your relationship to my husband?" And she's like pretty snarky.
But
I would be too. Yeah, and she's like, "I didn't know about you. I didn't know that he was married." And she tells the woman that Owen's dead. And she said, like, she barely knew him. He came in a few times a year. They had a few drinks, but that was it. She never slept with him.
And we believe her.
We believe her until later that night when Claire's at home and she shows back up and she's like, "Just kidding."
Well, yeah, she goes to Beth goes to Claire's house after the bookstore and she's like, "Look at this shit." And Claire's like, "Don't go home. Stay here with me as long as you want." It's like, okay, I'm going to go pack a bag and rent a room for a few nights. But she gets home and threatens the ghosts that are there. And then there's a knock on the door. So we're like, oh, God, is she dreaming again? Is this the Nighthouse again? But it's Madeline, the girl from the bookstore. And she's like, "How'd you know where I live?" And she's like, "Well, I've been here before. I came here with Owen on a date once." And after work, she had a dream that she was Beth, but not really Beth. She was herself and Beth, and she's being chased. Blah, blah, blah. But she told her about the one time Owen brought her over to her house and showed her the other house and asked her to hold the voodoo doll. And they started kissing and started choking her. And she's like, "Stop!" So he drove her home. And Owen told her that he couldn't hold it back anymore and he has to end it for good.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird date. Why wasn't she just honest with Beth at the bookstore? That's what I want to know, because it's not like, I don't know, if he's dead, like, just tell her what's up. But anyway, so we're starting to get this picture that Owen was a giant creep. That's very important. Hold on to that. Hold on to that image that Owen was a philandering, murderous creep. Keep that with you. It comes in handy later.
Real soon.
Yeah. So Beth, after the girl leaves, she goes to the reverse house. And she tries to, like, get the Owen silhouette to come out. And then she hits a floorboard the wrong way and, like, falls through. And there are, like, a bunch of dead bodies wrapped in plastic under there. And it's all these women that look like her. So she goes home and for some reason decides to take a shower instead of just immediately, like, getting to safety. And then
I would have been under the covers as fast as I could.
Right, yeah.
That's safe. That's as safe as I can get.
Yeah, right. And then the wedding song starts playing again.
Hello, my friends, we meet again.
Yeah. It's garbage. And then it just suddenly stops. And then when she goes out and she looks in the mirror, there's just written in the fog, "Here." And
I would have done a W in front of it and then a question mark, like, where?
Yeah. So she sees, like, wet footprints, like, that are right by her. That freaked me out. Yeah. That bothered me. Like, the wet footprints that she, like, found leading up to her, and she, like, reached out to, like, touch him. Because even though even though she's still mad at him, she's still, like,
like, if I'm ever mad at Clarence, I still want to know he's okay.
Yeah, and it just kind of seems like she's about to have ghost sex, and then and then it says, "I'm not Owen."
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Molly?
Yeah, remember from Ghost?
Oh, right, yes.
What Whoopi Goldberg says?
Yes, that is what people... I'm sorry. I was lost.
I haven't seen the movie in like 10 years, though. Maybe she doesn't.
I don't like it.
What was I just talking about Demi Moore with? Oh, I just watched G.I. Jane. But not because of the joke.
Okay.
Just because it was on TNT the other day, whenever I was at Steve's dad's house.
Do you think TNT had it on because of the joke? They were like, let's get in on this.
Well, it was G.I. Jane followed by Helen Hunt. Twister.
Twister's the shit. So good. Anyway.
That guy's dead.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
No, yes. The main character the man in Twister.
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
Yeah,
He's dead, guys.
I know. It's really sad. Everybody in Twister's dead.
Helen Hunt.
Helen Hunt's alive.
Oh,
yeah,
thank
she's alive.
God.
Anyway.
I'm going to write all this down.
Yeah, the thing says that, it's not Owen. And then it locks her in the bathroom. And then she starts having visions of, like, Owen killing other women.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly she's in the Nighthouse. And this scene is, like, nuts.
Weird.
And this is where I start to get pissed again. Because, okay, we'll get to this when we get to, like, the ending.
Oh, I get pissed in, like, one more scene after this one.
Yeah. So she, like, is in the reverse house. And she sees, like, all of these women, like, hiding. And then, like, Owen, like, finding them and murdering them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see, like, it is being drilled into our head that her husband was actually a homicidal maniac.
Mm-hmm.
And that he was, like, killing all these women so that he didn't have to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
They all look exactly like her. Like, they all have similar style to her. And she's getting dragged down the hall, like, watching all of these women get killed by her husband. And then, like, she goes into the living room, and there's an Owen there, and then it's this, which is where I get angry.
Is exactly 1 hour and 31 minutes into this movie. So you have 16 minutes and 28 seconds left at this moment exactly. So, there's an Owen on the couch with Beth. There's something speaking to the real Beth behind the Owen and the Beth on the couch, saying, you left me the night we met. I'm what you thought when your heart stopped beating. Which is like a really good Plus 44 song.
Yeah, when your heart stops beating, yeah.
So check that one out if you haven't before. He said nothing, went to Owen and whispered in his ear over and over again to send you back. So he sent back the others to trick him.
So we'll get into why this is annoying in like 2 minutes. So Beth wakes up again, and she's being dragged by her hair, and then choked, and then the nothing bends her like in the middle of the air, which would be scary, but at this point I'm pissed.
Remember Saint Maud?
It is.
Remember Saint Maud? Which I'm gonna give 5 stars now.
Yeah.
5 stars to Saint Maud. Studio House Designs, please send me that fucking t-shirt.
This would be scary if we hadn't just had this plot exposition that ruins the entire movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sees 2 moons. One's red and one is regular. And then she, like, faints in the lover's doll position. And the next morning, we just kind of, like, hard cut to the next morning, and Claire shows up because Beth had called her,
mm-hmm.
and then never, like, called her back or never answered any other calls. And the door is already open. She doesn't find Beth, and she, like, it turns out that Beth is still in, like, the other world with Owen as he's, like, writing his suicide note. And then Claire sees that Beth is in the boat, and it's not actually Owen in the boat. It's nothing. It's the demon, quote unquote, nothing. Yeah. So Owen couldn't protect her, and so she starts rowing out into the lake with a gun in her hand, and Claire's like, fuck, and like starts going after her, and Owen / nothing demon is like, come back to me, like, come with me, come back to me. And then Claire...
Oh, I meant swims.
She doesn't whim out?
Not this time.
Claire swims out to get Beth. And, like, kind of pulls her out of the...
Boat.
The boat, yeah. Like, well, Beth makes a decision in the reverse world not to go with nothing Owen. And then Claire pulls her out of the boat. And they turn around, and, like, Claire's like, what's in there? And Beth says, nothing.
Oh god, because we can see the final scene. You can see the ripples of the water silhouette a man in the boat.
Right.
They do good silhouette work.
Right.
They do good silhouette work.
But that's the end. Is that she said, what's in the boat? Nothing.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys.
Thanks,
David Bruckner.
So before we get into how we feel about it, we like to
party.
We do like to party.
We like to party.
Mm-hmm. The Vanga bus is. I remember that meme that was like, "Worry not, if the Vanga bus is coming, it is coming for thee."
You know that when I was growing up, my mom got me a CD or a cassette. I don't remember because I was alive for both.
Yeah.
Just that single, and I would play it over and over again until she wanted to kill me.
I never really liked the Vanga bus song. And
what about Six Flags?
Did they have a Six Flags song?
Wasn't that the theme song?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had never been there, so I guess like when I was watching the commercials, I was just like, gosh golly gee, I wish I could go to Six Flags theme park.
Where is a Six Flags at?
There used to be one in Ohio. I don't think it exists anymore. I think the closest one is probably in Florida.
Oh, we're not going to Florida.
We're not going to Florida, no. There also used to be a SeaWorld in Ohio. There's just nothing in Ohio.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I went to the SeaWorld in Ohio as a child.
There was a SeaWorld in Ohio.
There was a SeaWorld in Ohio. It was...
Did you know there was a SeaWorld in Ohio? Did you know the movie was premiered in the Toronto Film... No. Sundance?
Chris is talking to Clarence. Anyway, we're going to take a walk down Letterboxd Beat Street now, which is where we pull Letterboxd reviews from Letterboxd and tell you what they said. So, what did you pull this week, Chris?
I pulled a 3.5-star review from Brian Esposita, and they said, very well crafted and employs some neat visual tricks, though I found the mystery more engrossing than the actual payoff. Every new revelation feels increasingly unnerving and contributes to a sinister mood. No matter, though, this is Rebecca Hall's world and we're just living in it.
I agree with that entirely. It is Rebecca Hall's world and we are just living in it. So I pulled 2 this week because I can never pick just one. The first one is from Brian W. Collins, who gave it 3.5 stars and said, adding a 0.5 star for having a character's phone be on the charger while they slept instead of just keeping it disconnected on the nightstand like a sociopath. And then the other one is 2.5 stars by Lily, the DRHCU, Depressed Rebecca Hall Cinematic Universe, which is one of my favorite cinematic universes.
Well, thank you, Lily Tomlin, for that.
So, yeah, it passes the Bechdel test very slightly.
Barely.
Barely. I would say, like, the conversation in the bar also kind of counts because she's talking about just ghosts, right? But then it quickly becomes about her deceased husband. The DuVernay test, it does not pass. There are people of color, but they don't have, like, any meaningful plot or, like, really any, like, they're not real characters.
No, Mel's
they're
a
like,
plot device.
They're like NPCs, really. Yeah. Idiot's Guide to Gore. Yeah, I'd give it a 0 out of 5 for sure.
Nothing gross happens.
No.
Some light choking. A corpse you can barely see wrapped in plastic.
Yeah.
And that's like the extent of the gore.
Yeah.
Implied gore. Women jumping off a cliff.
Yeah, but jump scares, I would give it like a
7.
Yeah, there's a lot of jump scares.
It's not as bad as some jump scare movies, like Sinister.
Sinister is a bunch of jump scares. Like, these movies, like, they use the jump scares effectively, I guess, because they also, like, tend to, like, Sinister also has those scary-ass, like, home video moments.
Yeah.
And then, like, whenever the boogeyman's there, I'm like, oh, fuck that. Like, it's not as cool.
Jump scares work well if they're, like, combined with, like, scary things.
Yes.
You need an atmosphere to go along with the jump scares. And a lot of horror movies are just jump scares.
Right.
So it's not effective. I want to be scared for the rest of my life after watching a movie.
I'm the same way. Yeah, I want it to come back to me when I turn out the lights to sleep at night.
Like
forever.
the poem from Possum.
Yeah, eventually we will talk about Possum. I would love to talk about Possum.
What's inside it, man or spider?
Stop. Okay. You ready to get the keys?
Oh.
I think we're ready for the keys because we really gotta talk about this ending. That's what I'm here for. Every week on Idiot's Guide to Horror, we like to imagine that we have been given the keys to remake or reboot the film that we have.
Oh my god, you're like a frog, like the Princess Frog.
Ribbit. Yeah. To remake or reboot the film that we are talking about.
That was the dog, not me, guys. What we were just
should I start this over?
What if we use the podcast to tell everybody we kiss sometimes? Oh god.
We don't.
No.
We love each other very much.
Platonically.
Anyway. Every week on Idiot's Guide to Horror, we like to imagine that we have been given the keys to remake or reboot the film that we are talking about. And
this week, we're talking about The Nighthouse. Did you know it premiered in 2020 at Sundance, but then, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, had to be put on the shelf for 100 years.
For those of you out there, this is what happens when you haven't seen your best friend for 2 weeks, and the first time you see each other, you record a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes
I have
Silly
an idea
Town,
for next week.
USA.
Can I tell you that?
Yes. What is it? No, wait, don't tell me yet. We gotta wait.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Pin in that. We're getting our keys.
Oh yeah, every week on Idiot's Guide to Horror, we cover The Nighthouse. Did you know it premiered at the Sundance 2020 but had to be put on hold for another 24 years? Well, now you know. Your turn.
Every week on Idiot's Guide to Horror, we like to imagine that we have been given the keys to remake or reboot the film that we are talking about, and then we decide, oh Christ, what we would keep in the movie because we think that it's flawless, and what we would throw out the second we got the chance because we think it's fucking garbage. So, Chris, this week, what was flawless about The Nighthouse, which, if you don't know, premiered at Sundance in 2020 and had to be delayed because of COVID-19?
In the notes I wrote, Sundance 2020, be there or be square. The first 90 minutes of this movie are very good.
They are. It's true.
This movie is terrifying.
For 90 minutes.
For 90 minutes. If they could have just cut the ending and had her die somewhere else.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that some other day when we remake the movie. Oh, everybody done that. Rebecca Hall is the only person you should be paying money to see in anything.
I agree. 100%. We should be giving more roles to Rebecca Hall. Rebecca Hall should be in more things.
Remake School of Rock and give Rebecca Hall every role.
School of Rock as like a depressed drama featuring Rebecca Hall in every role, like a la Tilda Swinton.
Except for Joan Cusack. I want her back in the movie.
Yeah, well, you can't get rid of Joan Cusack. Anyway.
Remember Tilda Swinton's penis?
That's going to be my new gamer tag.
I think it's a spoiler too if you think about it.
It is. Yeah. So yeah, for me, obviously Rebecca Hall is absolutely incredible. She was the draw of this movie for me. The trailers looked amazing for this movie. I was super attracted to the idea of the trailers.
I just watched them all recently, last night.
Yeah, I liked the color palette of this movie. So it wasn't too drab. It wasn't too like saturated in orange or in blue. It was a nice depressed medium.
Like a mauve. I don't know.
I also thought that like we were talking about, for once the jump scares in this movie were actually really effective and they didn't annoy me. I wasn't like sitting there like pissed because they were actual jump scares. There wasn't like a big build up. There was just like something happened and you did not expect it.
It wasn't the remake of the Amityville Horror.
Yes, which I did like as a teenager very much.
I wonder if it still holds up.
Probably not, but I'll rewatch it to see. I'll jump on that grenade.
Yeah, the Ryan Reynolds grenade.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Listen, I watched Free Guy the other day because I I don't know. I'm spiraling.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Reynolds just seems like a real nice guy.
I almost watched that Ryan Reynolds movie, but I remembered it was David Cook. Nope. What's that comedian's name?
Dane Cook.
Dane Cook.
Waiting.
No, the other one, with Jessica Simpson.
Oh, I thought you were talking about one that they were in together.
No, I thought it was one, but it was the other.
Oh, yeah, I think was that called Employee of the Month?
Yeah, that's it. It's streaming right now.
Oh, God. Well, run for your lives.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, the jump scares in this movie are super effective. And the scares that aren't jump scares are also, they're, like, pretty haunting and upsetting. And they feel a lot like grief.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it has the same feeling as grief to me.
Do you know the other day I was trying to explain why elevated horror movies are so profound?
For those of you who are listening, Chris just put air quotes around elevated.
They are all grief.
Yeah.
It's all a grief story. The Babadook, Hereditary, Midsommar, Get Out. Nope. No, not Get Out. Shut up, Chris. Can we cover Get Out? It's never streaming
on anything.
It's all grief. Good grief.
So, if you could change something about the Nighthouse, what would it be?
The ending. The antagonist.
The ending. Okay, so I'm going to try to be very kind in the way that I just rip this a new one. First of all, the demon thing is overplayed. We understand, yes, I get it. It is the easiest thing to reach for, that if somebody is battling demons, the easiest thing to reach for is to make those metaphorical demons literal. But, like, can we try harder? Can we do something different? I think that this movie would have been scarier if it would have just been this woman dealing with the grief and the horror of finding out that her husband had a double life as, like, a serial killer that was just killing women that looked like her. Like, I think that would have been scarier. I think that would have been fine. But instead, we have to forgive this character for some reason because he was actually just depressed. He had to kill those women because he was depressed and he didn't want to get his depression all over her.
It's the ending of Last Night in Soho.
It is the ending of which we can't spoil because we haven't covered it yet.
Watch the Last Night in Soho and turn it off before the end.
Yeah. Or don't turn it off before the end and then we can cover it and bitch about that ending too. But it's the same thing where you're watching one movie for an hour and 30 minutes and then after that you're watching a completely different movie and not in a good way.
They were like, okay, we have 16 minutes left to fill. What do we do? And they're like, demon.
Yeah, make it a demon. Make it a demon. And we forgive the husband for being a terrible person.
This movie could have been perfect. Yeah, it could have been the best movie of 2020/2021, whenever it released, because it premiered at Sundance in 2020.
What?
Yeah.
Did it?
Oh yeah. But this could have been the
best.
What
happened?
Oh my God, let me tell you. But this could have been the best movie of the year, along with The Dark and the Wicked. Did I like the ending of that? I don't remember.
I liked the ending of The Dark and the Wicked. I thought that The Dark and the Wicked also had one of, like, it wasn't a jump scare, but there was, like, a really creepy scare in The Dark and the Wicked that was super effective.
Oh wait, I can't spoil that.
Yeah, don't spoil The Dark and the Wicked.
But a sheep does die.
Yes, that's true. A sheep does die in The Dark and the Wicked. That is a spoiler. You should know, though. I've done nothing wrong, Your Honor.
Your Honor. What was our assistant's name?
Stacey.
Read the record back to me, and see who spoiled that movie.
So yeah, just basically like it feels like a cop out. It just feels like a giant cop out to be like, it's a demon because we want this guy to be likable now for some reason. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to be like this is just how she's choosing to feel about the fact that her husband was actually a serial killer, or if we're actually supposed to feel empathy for him and be like, this is just, he was just getting chased down. And it feels like also like he's blaming her a little bit and she's accepting it. Like, he's like, you gave up the night that I met you. Like, you've never really been here, and so I had this void that I had to fill by fucking and killing other women. Right?
Yeah. David Bruckner, can you call me on the phone right now, please? Stacey, get David on the phone.
Can you get David Bruckner on the phone? Thank you.
The movie... I don't... Paranormal horror is my jam.
Me too. I'm a big fan.
Jam. Give me a ghost. Give me a demon. Give me whatever the fuck the first half of this movie was. But it ruined the whole thing. If you want a good paranormal horror, go watch The Haunting on Hill House. The whole thing. Sit down for 6 hours and watch that miniseries. Was it a miniseries? Or was it a maxi series?
A maxi series. It was a miniseries. It was a limited series.
But don't watch the second one, Bly.
Bly's pretty boring.
I didn't get past the first episode.
Yeah.
But, like, this movie, I needed to be one or the other, not both.
I agree with you. So what do you rate it?
Unfortunately, I give this movie a 4 out of 5 stars. The first hour and 31 minutes will haunt me for the rest of my life, and I will spend the other half of my life trying to forget the last 16.
I'm gonna give it 3 stars because I have to knock off, that ending is just so disorienting and just ruins the experience for me, just the same way with last night in Soho. I was so on board, and then it's like, well, fuck me, I guess. Like, you have me hooked, you have me in, I'm reeled in, and then but
I also gave Malignant 4 stars, even though the middle was so boring.
The middle, you have to really sift through some bullshit to get to the gold nugget at the end of Malignant.
God. How good of a movie that was. I love
the last 20 minutes of that movie are just so fucking great. Anyway, that's our coverage on the Nighthouse.
Ooh, and it's under an hour, guys. You can get back to work now.
Well, we do have to do Idiot's Guide to Non-Horror.
You go first. I'll think of something.
So, hi everybody. It's me, Kara, the Nick Cage fanatic. While we were away, the second that I could, I went to see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And I know that people are not giving it good reviews on the internet. Those people are not... Those people are not Nicolas Cage fans. Don't listen to the people who aren't Nicolas Cage fans. If you're a Nicolas Cage fan, you will love The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It's very funny. It's very... You're looking at the wrong thing. It's a blast. Yeah, but if you actually look at the... Why can't I... Yeah, all the top reviews are not great.
Mandy was a masterpiece. Is that a joke in the movie?
Yes.
Mandy was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Please go back 2 weeks and listen to our episode on Mandy.
It's been more than 2 weeks.
Shh, time is irrelevant.
But that's my suggestion, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It was so funny and I didn't want to miss any jokes. I had to pee literally the last hour of the movie and I refused to pee.
How long was it? 107 minutes.
Yeah.
You couldn't hold it for 107 minutes?
I did. I did hold it for 107 minutes.
Oh, I'm not reading. I was gonna read your review, but it's 4 pages long.
It's literally not that long. It is not that long.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Our vegan friend
really liked it though. That I liked it. I like to see it. I love to see it. Anyway, what about you?
Well, this week I'm gonna recommend. Nope, that's my watch list. The Northman. Nope, I haven't seen it. Pulp Fiction. Have you heard of it? I rewatched The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. Oh, have you seen Parasite yet? That was great. Don't watch Ready Player One.
Don't do it. Don't watch Ready Player One.
I really got nothing for you guys. Nothing good has ever happened to me in my entire life. This week I'm recommending You just go see a movie in the theater. Go by yourself, go with a friend, sneak your dog in, get a popcorn, and if you're going to see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, good. I would also recommend seeing Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I haven't seen either.
I've heard really good things.
The Northman, I want to see, and the other one, Paradise, The Lost City, starring Sandy B. And then go home and watch Miss Congeniality, which was a gay feminist anthem.
The movie was a gay feminist anthem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, it could have been, because remember, she's like, see, all the other lesbians, you can get to top 3.
I can't believe I forgot that I wanted to recommend Russian Doll Season 2 with my girlfriend that goes to another school, Natasha Leone.
Mm-hmm. And her girlfriend, Fred Armisen.
Who? I don't know her.
I didn't watch the first season yet, because you told me I was going to cry.
You are going to cry.
And I've been watching Psych downstairs in Frasier.
Recommend Psych.
Hey, guys, have you seen Psych? It's a TV show. The first however many seasons are great, and the last one's terrible. Watch Frasier, and watch a season or 2 of Letterkenny. But I couldn't recommend the whole thing, and I'm sorry if you work with me.
Alright, well, next week we'll be back with another movie, and maybe we'll have less of a case of the gigglies. But
maybe not.
You can email us questions, comments, and recommendations to idiotsguidetohorror@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram @idiotsguidetohorror, on Twitter @horroridiots. Don't follow us on Twitter. Sorry, I forgot.
I took it out of the script for
Also, fuck Twitter now.
Yeah, that man bought it.
Yeah, Facebook. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com.
Also, fuck Facebook and fuck you, Mark Zuckerberg. What?
And anyway, YouTube. We have a YouTube channel too.
Who owns YouTube?
I don't know.
Google.
Probably.
No, they own Google.
They do own YouTube.
Who owns Google?
You can rate our podcast.
Yeah, but rate it on Google. We don't have a Google business page.
We don't.
And I don't want to make one.
That's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
People would leave us terrible reviews.
That's why I don't want to make one.
Yeah. But you can rate our podcast on iTunes and help other horror movie fans find us.
Remember the time we were in the top 100 podcast on Apple? Let's do that again. Yeah. Let's do it for the top 1. Let's be the next. Fuck that guy, by the way.
I think we're done. Are we done here? I think we are done here.
So, in summary, fuck Zuckerberg. Fuck Jeff Probst? No, who's the podcast?
Jeff Probst!
The guy from
Isn't
Survivor.
that the guy that hosts Survivor?
Fuck him too.
Fuck Jeff Probst.
Fuck Elon Musk and fuck you too. There's a new sign off.
Be your own kind of film bro, guys.
And never waste your pain.
Goodbye.